Hey everyone, welcome in everybody. Today's deep dive is going to be a good one. We're really going deep into this cultural phenomenon, Imaan lifestyle.
hmm
They've totally changed the game when it comes to Islamic-inspired home decor and lifestyle products. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's really interesting here is that they didn't just ride a trend wave.
Yeah.
They tapped into a real cultural shift. You've got a whole generation of young Muslims who want their homes to reflect their heritage, but not like their grandma's house.
Right, right.
And Imam Lifestyle really understood that desire for something fresh, modern, something that speaks to their lives.
Okay, so they saw that gap in the market, like high quality, modern, Islamic inspired home goods. They just weren't out there. But, it's one thing to see that need. It's a whole other thing to be like, I'm going to build a brand around this. Like, what was that leap like for them?
Yeah, the sources really paint this picture of a real why not us energy.
Mm.
These were young Muslims who were living this gap themselves. They couldn't find what they were looking for, so they just decided to create it.
I love that. Talk about turning frustration into inspiration, huh? Okay, but I'm guessing it wasn't all smooth sailing from great idea to global brand, right? What were some of the hurdles, some of the challenges they had to kind of clear early on?
Well, imagine trying to explain this unique aesthetic.
Right.
You're trying to explain this to manufacturers, and they might not fully grasp the vision, especially this whole thing of bridging tradition and modernity.
Right.
And the sources highlight how tough it was to find partners who not only met their quality standards, but also understood that very specific look and feel they were going
Well,
for.
totally. It's like, how do you even put that on a mood board? I need this to say grandma's house, but make it chic. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine those negotiations. But you know what? I feel like those early struggles probably shaped them in a big way.
For sure. It forced them to be incredibly resourceful right from the beginning. They
Yeah.
had to get creative, build those strong relationships, and really advocate for their vision.
Yeah.
And those skills, super valuable as a company grows, for sure.
It's like that saying, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they've got these incredible products, but how did they actually get them in front of people? I mean, the internet, obviously, but they really nailed that whole social media game early on, didn't they?
Oh, they understood the assignment, for sure. We're talking peak Instagram and
Yeah.
Pinterest, right?
Yeah.
And Imaan and Lifestyle. They didn't just post product photos.
Mm.
They curated a lifestyle. Think carefully staged images. Their products nestled in these gorgeous aspirational homes.
Mm-hmm.
It was about selling a feeling, an aesthetic that their target audience just instantly connected with.
Yes. They created this irresistible peek into the Iman lifestyle world. And it totally worked.
Okay.
But they were also smart enough not to just stop at decor. They expanded into lifestyle products pretty quickly, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's all about creating this whole experience.
Yeah, 100%. And they did it really strategically, too.
Mm.
The sources talk about their move into things like prayer rugs, Islamic books, even scented candles. It was all really carefully considered to kind of touch various aspects of their customers' lives.
Right.
It's they weren't just selling you things. They were offering ways to bring those values and that aesthetic into your home in a way that felt really cohesive. It all just worked together.
And this is where it gets really exciting for me personally because they launched the Iman Home Collection, which, if I'm understanding this right, it kind of took things to a whole other level.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. The Imaan Home Collection, total game changer. They went high-end. We're talking luxurious prayer rugs made with premium materials, Islamic-inspired tableware that just elevates those everyday meals.
Wait, hold on. Islamic-inspired tableware. What does that even what does that look like? Give me the details. I gotta know.
Okay, so think elegant geometric patterns, calligraphy motifs, rich jewel-toned colors. These are pieces that feel both modern but also very rooted in tradition. It's about infusing those everyday rituals, just sharing a meal with your family, infusing that with this sense of cultural significance.
Okay.
And get this, they also introduced seasonal collections too for Ramadan and Eid.
Whoa. Now, that is what I call understanding your audience, okay? They tapped into these really special moments, these occasions that go way beyond just needing a new sofa or rug. It creates that feeling of anticipation of wanting to mark these special occasions with something unique.
100%. They weren't just selling a product at that point. They were creating a deeper connection with their customers' lives, their traditions. But you know what I think is really impressive? They managed to do all of that while still staying true to their values.
Ethical sourcing and sustainable materials, that wasn't just like a marketing tactic for them.
No.
It was baked into their brand DNA from the get-go.
Precisely. And that authenticity really shines through. In a world where, let's be real, consumers, especially younger generations, they can spot a phony a mile away. Imaan Lifestyle's commitment to those ethical practices and high-quality materials, it really resonated. They weren't just selling you a product. It was like they were inviting you to be part of something that you could feel good about.
Yeah.
But how they actually conveyed that message, well, that is a masterclass in building trust and community.
And a big part of that, I mean, it had to be influencer marketing, right? But they were smart about it.
Yeah, they were really strategic about it.
They weren't just like,
It wasn't just like sending a free prayer rug to like anyone with a big following, you know what I mean?
Right.
Imaan and Lifestyle, they partnered with Muslim influencers who like genuinely embodied the brand's values. These are people who were already, they were already living that Imaan lifestyle.
It felt authentic because it was authentic.
Exactly.
These influencers weren't just like holding up a product. They were showing how it actually fit into their lives, their homes, their values. It's like getting a recommendation from a friend, right? You're way more likely to listen to that.
For sure.
Okay, so we got this brand that's like totally killing it online, right? They're expanding their product line, building these like genuine relationships.
Yeah.
What's next? What's like the next move in this whole Imaan lifestyle playbook?
Well, they went global.
Okay.
And they didn't do it in like a haphazard way at all. They were very strategic about it.
Yeah.
So moving beyond just e-commerce, they started partnering up with like physical stores and Islamic centers. So that made their products more accessible to just a way wider audience.
That's huge, though, because it's one thing to see, like, a picture of something beautiful online, right? But to actually, like, be able to experience it in person, to, like, touch the fabrics, feel the weight of a hand-painted ceramic.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that creates a whole other level of connection.
Totally.
Okay, but I'm imagining even with, like, such a well-executed strategy, I mean, there had to be bumps along the way. Like, growing pains are real for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
So
tell me about it.
Well, the sources actually talk about how as Imaan lifestyle started finding success, the Islamic lifestyle market as a whole, it actually became more competitive because, of course, other brands saw what they were doing and they tried to replicate it.
Yeah, it's that classic case of success breeds competition.
Right.
But I mean, Imaan Lifestyle still had that first mover advantage, you know? They had that strong brand identity that they had built from like day one. And I feel like that counts for a lot.
Did they face any other hurdles? Because let's be real, the past few years have thrown everybody for a loop, right?
Tell me about it.
Like,
The COVID-19 pandemic definitely threw a whole new set of challenges their way, for sure. Supply chains were disrupted, manufacturing faced delays. It was just like a really difficult time for everybody.
Yeah.
And Imaan Lifestyle was no exception.
Totally. It's like just when you think you've got things like figured out right, the world throws you a pandemic.
Exactly.
But you know what? This is where I feel like Imaan Lifestyle's resilience really shines because they adapted, didn't they?
They did.
Like they
leaned into the fact that everybody was spending way more time at home than ever before. Remember all the stunning visuals we were talking about before?
Yes.
Well, they actually started offering like virtual styling services and like design tips. They were really using those gorgeous images to inspire people to like create their own little havens.
That's so smart. Okay, so they turned a global crisis into like this opportunity to connect with their audience on an even deeper level.
Right.
And that to me, I feel like that speaks volumes about their ability to like adapt and innovate. Okay, but I mean, the world of business never sits still, right? It's constantly changing.
Constantly.
So what's next for Imaan Lifestyle? What does the future hold?
Well, from what the sources tell us, it seems like they are not the type of people to just like rest on their laurels. They've got some pretty exciting plans in the works, specifically around personalization and like tech integration.
Ooh, okay. Tech integration. You have my attention. Tell me they're not like developing some kind of like AI prayer rug that like fluffs itself. Although now that I'm saying it out loud,
not quite.
That doesn't actually sound like a bad idea.
It doesn't sound bad at all. But no, think more along the lines of like augmented reality. Like imagine being able to visualize how a new rug or like some wall art from their new collection, how it would actually look in your living room before you even buy it.
Okay. That is way cooler than a self-fluffing prayer rug.
Right.
I can see how that would be like a total game changer, especially for like people who are shopping online who still want that like real, tangible experience.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What about this app that I'm hearing like whispers about?
It's not just hype. They're actually building an app to like create this even more immersive and community-driven
Yeah.
experience around their brand.
Mm.
So think like, exclusive content, design inspiration, maybe even like a platform where you can connect with other Imaan lifestyle customers.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
you can like share tips or like design dilemmas or whatever.
So they're creating like a whole ecosystem around their brand, which, if we zoom out for a second, that's something that we're seeing like more and more companies who are really successful are doing now. It's not just about like selling a product anymore, right? It's about building a community, offering that value that goes way beyond just the transaction. But with I Am in Lifestyle, it feels even deeper than that.
100%.
Yeah.
They have tapped into something really powerful here. And I think it's this idea of needing to see your values reflected in the brands that you support. It's like, I'm in lifestyle. They're not just saying like, buy our stuff. They're saying like, we see you, we get you, we understand you, and we're here to help you create a home that reflects who you are.
It's like they're giving their customers permission to just like embrace their heritage, celebrate their faith, and do it all while having a freaking amazing looking home.
Right.
And that message of like permission to be fully yourself, that resonates. And I bet it especially resonates with like younger generations.
I think so too.
Sure.
And what's so brilliant about what they're doing is they're not shying away from their cultural identity at all. Like they lean into it.
Ah.
And by doing that, they're showing the world that like appealing to a specific niche that's not limiting. It can actually be a recipe for like incredible success.
And they're not stopping at just home decor, right?
Right.
I mean, the Imaan home selection was huge, but it feels like just the beginning.
Totally.
What other areas do you think are like ripe for the Imaan and lifestyle treatment? I feel like they could branch out into like anything.
Right.
Fashion, food, travel. And I feel like their audience would be so there for it.
Oh, for sure.
Just to like experience those worlds through the lens of, Imaan lifestyles, values, aesthetic.
It's true. It really makes you wonder, like, what other markets are out there that seem niche but are actually like ripe for this kind of disruption?
Right.
What other communities are like craving brands that truly get them, not just trying to like sell them something?
It's such a good question. And what's so inspiring about the whole Imaan lifestyle story is that it shows how much power there is in like really owning your unique identity. Like they weren't afraid to be unapologetically Muslim.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge part of what makes them so relatable, so aspirational.
Absolutely. They've shown everybody that you don't have to choose between like your heritage and having like contemporary style. Like you can have both.
Yes.
And in doing so, they haven't just built like a crazy successful business.
Right.
They've created a real sense of like belonging and empowerment for like a whole generation.
It's a good reminder, I think, that sometimes the best business ideas come from just like solving a problem you actually get,
Right.
Staying true to what you believe in and just never, ever underestimating the power of genuine connection.
Beautifully said. And on that note,
Yes.
we hope this deep dive into the world of Imaan lifestyle has got you feeling inspired.
Yeah.
Whether you're like an entrepreneur, just like a design enthusiast, or just somebody who appreciates a really great story about innovation, cultural impact, and just like the power of staying true to yourself.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to discover the next Imaan lifestyle. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep, everybody.